Inheritance tax, care fees, probate delays. These are the fears that drive many parents to give their homes to their kids early. But what if that decision actually left you powerless, unprotected, and still liable for all the costs you were trying to avoid? So let's talk about a better way. Have you ever thought about giving your house to your children before you pass away? It might actually seem like a generous, forward-thinking move. Perhaps a way to reduce inheritance tax, avoid care fee assessments, or spare your loved ones the delays of probate. But it's important to be aware that gifting your home could in actual fact cause more harm than good, not just to you, but to your loved ones as well. I'm Jim from ELM Legal Services, and over the last 25 years we've helped thousands of families across England and Wales protect their estates the right way. And today we want to walk you through some very real risks of giving away your home and a better alternative you may not have actually considered. Let me introduce you to Margaret. Margaret is a 70-year-old widow with 2 grown-up children, David and Sarah. She wanted to keep things simple. After her husband passed away, she actually transferred ownership of her home into her children's names. She thought, it'll save them hassle when I'm gone, and perhaps even protect my home against being sold to pay for care fees. But that's when the problem started. Her son David went through a divorce, and suddenly Margaret's home became a marital asset in the divorce proceedings. Meanwhile, her daughter Sarah faced financial difficulties, and her creditors viewed the house as part of her estate. Margaret still lived in that home, but she had no legal protection, no rights, and no control. Then, when Margaret applied for local authority care funding, the council investigated the transfer, and they decided she deliberately deprived herself of assets, and still counted the house as hers for financial assessment purposes. So in trying to protect her family, Margaret had accidentally put her home and her own security at risk. Although Margaret's situation is a perfect storm of things going wrong, it's not uncommon for parts of this story to occur. Let's look then at the specific problems that can arise when you gift your home. Number 1, you lose control of the asset. When you gift your home, you no longer own it. This means your child could sell it without your permission, and you'd have no control over that decision. Lose it in a divorce or bankruptcy if they run into financial trouble. Use it in ways you might not agree with, like turning it into a business, or even put it up as collateral for loans or investments which could put the property at risk. Number 2, inheritance tax may still apply. If you continue to live in the house after gifting it, it's considered a gift with reservation of benefit. HMRC will still treat it as part of your estate for inheritance tax purposes. And number 3, care home fees won't necessarily be avoided. Local councils can and actually do investigate gifts made within a person's lifetime. If they believe the gift was made to avoid care costs, they'll actually treat you as if you still own the property. The truth is, giving away your house might seem like a shortcut, but it can actually create serious legal, financial, and emotional complications for everyone involved. So what could you do instead if you want to protect your home and help your kids? Let's consider the example of Alan and Joyce, a retired couple who wanted to make sure their home would eventually pass to their children and not be lost to future complications such as care fees, probate delays, or second marriages. While they were both still in very good health, they spoke to a legal professional and set up a lifetime trust for their property. This meant they transferred ownership of their home into a trust while continuing to live in it, with full legal rights to stay there for the rest of their lives. Their main reason for doing this were to protect the home from sideways disinheritance, such as the risk of it ending up with a new partner and their family if either of them remarried after the other one had passed away, to make inheritance simpler and quicker for their children, by avoiding the probate process, and to ensure the property would be legally secure, no longer part of their individual estates, and better protected from future risks like bankruptcy, divorce, financial assessments and possible scams. They understood that when a trust is set up for genuine estate planning purposes, not just to avoid care costs, it can offer powerful long-term protection. So, what happened next? Several years later, Joyce's health declined, and she needed to move into residential care. Like many families, Alan and Joyce were concerned about the possibility of having to sell the home or use its value to pay for those care fees. However, because the property had been transferred into a lifetime trust well in advance and for proper estate planning purposes, it was not considered a deliberate deprivation of assets. That's important. It meant that when the local authority carried out a financial assessment to determine Joyce's contribution towards care fees, the home, which was now legally owned by the trust, was excluded from that calculation. Only assets held in Joyce's own name were assessed. The home, being held outside of her estate, was fully protected. The result, by planning ahead and getting the right legal advice, Alan and Joyce protected the full value of their home from being used to pay for care. They kept full control during their lifetimes, with the right to live in the property for life. They avoided probate on the property, saving time and stress for their kids after they passed away, and they ensured their wishes were followed and that the home passed securely to their kids. This is the benefit of acting early with a clear plan and expert advice. Done correctly, a lifetime trust can provide security, peace of mind, and lasting protection for the people you care about most. It's important to reiterate that trusts must be part of a genuine, long-term estate plan, not a quick fix to avoid care costs. If a trust is created after a diagnosis or when care is foreseeable, the local authority will treat it as deliberate deprivation and include the home in their financial assessment. They will consider your health, timing, and reasons for setting up the trust. To be effective, a trust must be established early and for the right legal reasons, not purely to avoid care fees. A common question we hear is, does this type of trust avoid inheritance tax? Well, the answer is simple: no. While a lifetime trust like the one Alan and Joyce used can protect the home from care fees, probate and family disputes, it does not avoid inheritance tax. That's because Alan and Joyce continued to live in the property after placing it into a trust. And the Inland Revenue sees this as a gift with a reservation of benefit, meaning they still enjoyed the asset. And as a result, the home remains part of their estate for inheritance tax. And its value would still be assessed on death. So what can you do about inheritance tax? Well, you can't use this type of trust to remove your home from your estate for tax purposes. There are several steps you can take to reduce or mitigate inheritance tax. Number 1, use your allowances. Each individual has a £325,000 tax-free allowance, plus an extra £175,000 if a main residence is left to kids. Married couples leaving their family home to their children can pass on up to £1 million tax-free. Number 2, make lifetime gifts. Gifts made more than 7 years before death are generally exempt from inheritance tax. Just be sure you no longer benefit from the asset after giving it away. Number 3, use annual exemptions. You can give away up to £3,000 each year without affecting your estate. Plus, you can make small gifts or gifts for weddings without incurring any inheritance tax. Number 4, consider regular gifts out of income. You can also make regular gifts from your income as long as they don't affect your standard of living. These gifts are fully exempt from inheritance tax, provided they become part of your usual expenditure and don't reduce your quality of life. And number 5, consider more advanced trust planning. Other trusts, like discretionary trusts, can help reduce inheritance tax, but they often require you to give up control or benefit of the asset. For this, seeking specialist advice is absolutely essential. In short, if inheritance tax is a concern, it should be addressed separately as part of a broader estate plan. Feel free to check out previous video on the subject for kind of more information on that. Gifting your home might feel like a simple solution, but as you've seen, it can come with serious and lasting consequences, from losing control of your property to facing unexpected tax bills or care fee assessments. A well-intentioned gift can quickly turn into a costly mistake. The good news? There's a better way. With the right trust in place, set up early, and with professional guidance, you can protect your home, support your kids, and maintain your peace of mind. Thanks for joining us today. If you've got any questions or thoughts, feel free to leave a comment. We're always glad to hear from you. And if you found this helpful, please consider giving that like button a friendly handshake, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss future updates. Remember, a little planning today can make a big difference tomorrow. So until next time then, stay safe, stay informed, and stay tuned.